The trouble with mirrors. Once upon a time, there was a farmer who had worked very hard for many years and saved up a nice amount of money. He lived in the countryside and had never seen a big city. An idea grew in his mind to visit Seoul and to buy some useful things for the house and some gifts for his family. His wife and daughters thought this was a wonderful ambition and gave him plenty of encouragement. One day in May, he was ready to leave on the great journey. His tearful wife warned him to look out for robbers on the road and to steer clear of any tempting distractions in the city. He in turn told her to lock the house up at night nice and tight, and to make sure that the pigs were safe in their pen from tigers who loved to eat pork. His daughters begged him not to forget to buy presents, and he assured them that they would not be disappointed. And then he set off in high spirits on a long tramp to the splendid city of Seoul. After walking for 2 weeks, he arrived in the most amazing place he had ever seen. He spent a long while standing on a street corner with his mouth gaping wide open as he gazed at the gorgeous shops and crowds of finely dressed pedestrians. But there is a saying that there are rude people even in Seoul, and this proved to be true. Some witty citizens laughed at the country bumpkin. One boy told him that his mouth was like a bird box and something might fly into it. Eventually, he worked up the courage to step inside some of the fine shops and to buy some gifts. He was astonished by what he found, and not least by the prices. However, he bought plenty of pretty things for his wife and daughters, including silk, a fan, a box of hairpins, amber beads, and a comb made from tiger's tooth. That made him think of his pigs, and he hoped that they were safe at home from the marauding tigers. Finally, he went in search of something for himself. He found a shop that sold all sorts of metal and silver objects. The shopkeeper soon realized that the farmer was from out of town, and decided to have some fun with him as well as to make a nice sale. "Would you like to see something truly miraculous?" he asked. The farmer thought it was impossible to be more astonished than he already was that day, but he was willing to try. The shopkeeper led him to an object that was like an ornate round tray, only one side was covered with highly polished crystal. "This," said the shopkeeper, "is called a mirror. It contains spirits." The farmer peered into the mirror. He had never seen anything like it before. He found the face of a man about his age. He opened his mouth in astonishment, and the man in the mirror copied him. Then he pulled a face, and the man returned the compliment. So he went round the back of the mirror to see who was hiding there, but there was nobody. The shopkeeper understood that the farmer was totally unable to comprehend the wonder of the mirror, and he named a fancy price. Somehow he managed to guess exactly how much the farmer had left to spend on gifts, and then he added on a little bit more because he knew that he would have saved money to buy food on the journey home. The farmer, who was completely overwhelmed by his experience, readily agreed to the extravagant purchase. 2 weeks later, the honest farmer arrived home, dusty from the road, and rather hungry. Oh, how his family were delighted to see him and shower him with kisses. Before too long, the family sat down and opened all the wonderful presents. They were truly thrilled with all the pretty things and thanked the farmer over and over. He in turn was overjoyed to see the delight on their faces. But he decided to keep the mirror secret for now, and hold back some fun for another day. However, his wife noticed that her husband had one more unopened box. The next morning, when he went out to inspect his prized pigs, she found the box behind his table. "What is he hiding from me?" she asked herself as she opened it. Inside she found a mysterious and silvery object. No wonder he tucked this away, she thought. He must have paid a fortune for it. Then she turned it around and saw something that caught her totally by surprise. There was the face of a woman inside the object. The face stared back at her with eyes and mouth wide open. "Oh, this is terrible," she sobbed. "He's only brought back another wife from Seoul." The eldest daughter heard her mother's cries and dashed into the room. "What is it, Mama?" she asked. Her mother showed her the mirror, and then the daughter started to cry, for she discovered another young girl in the mirror. Soon Grandma and Grandpa were in the room and they saw an elderly couple in the mirror. Oh, how furious they were! Where would they all live? How would there be enough food for all these new family members? Who would do all the cooking for them? Just then, the good farmer returned to the house. As he came through the door, Grandma hurled the mirror at him. He ducked just in time and the mirror slammed against the wall and broke. For a few moments, the farmer was dismayed as he looked at the tiny fragments of crystal. Then he began to laugh, because he understood how they had all been tricked by the mirror. At first the family thought he had gone mad, but as he carried on laughing, they could not help joining in. And to the end of their days, they did not really understand what had been the magical secret of the troublesome mirror.